Raine says that she has blocked out many of her childhood memories, but the few that remain are of her mother's ex sexually abusing her. Raine never told her mother about the abuse for fear of hurting her, and it wasn't until 2 years ago that Raine found the courage to speak up. But to her surprise, her mother didn't believe her. Take a look.
I come here today to see if I failed as a mother or if my child is a liar. I found out 2 years ago that my daughter had been molested by someone that I had been with for a while. My first thought was that it didn't happen. There's no way. It didn't happen. And she's like, Mom, it did. And I was like, well, why did you wait so long to tell me? Well, what made me think that she was lying was because I never got a true story from her. She has never gave me detail on what happened. She said it was too gruesome for me to hear. But I want to know. I want to know what he did to my daughter. Before all this happened, she was my shadow. We would go everywhere together. I would do her makeup. She would do my hair. We would go to the park. We'd go camping. We'd go fishing. It was always like that. Anything happened, I was always the one she told. I was always the one she came to. Because I do doubt it, it caused a lot of turmoil in between Raine and me. Our relationship has been entirely different. We don't talk as much. A lot of times when we do talk, it winds up in an argument over something small. I just feel like this has put a wedge in my little best friend. I hope by her taking this lie detector test that it will give us closure and we can move forward with our relationship. I was blinded. She played a good role. A very good role. I had no idea. And I just need to know for sure that this happened to her.
I find it interesting, she says in the tape, I'm here to find out if my daughter was molested or if she's a liar. Like, why wouldn't your mother just believe you?
Couldn't tell you.
What happened to you when you were a child?
Through ages 12 to 15, I was molested by I used to sleep in the bed all the time with my mom, and he had touched me in my private area. And at the time I didn't know any better. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I was just confused. I was like, well, why is this happening?
So it would take place while she was in the bed, but she'd be sleeping.
Or sometimes it would take place in the living room where, after everybody had done gone to bed.
Right. So you never told your mother when you were a teenager?
Well, I had said something to her once before. I told her about him grabbing my butt when I was asleep in the bed with her. She looked at me and she told me, she says, well, he sleepwalks, so maybe he thought you was me. So he probably didn't mean to.
So he was molesting you in his sleep?
Supposedly.
But she never confronted him, right?
Not that I'm aware.
Yeah. Now, but 2 years ago, you decided you wanted to speak up and tell her exactly what happened.
No, I didn't tell it to her.
Oh, okay.
I didn't tell it to her until after she heard everything, and I just kind of distanced myself from her, and
So
then
you told
we started
other people
back talking
who told her,
again.
and then you heard the response was nothing.
I heard the response was that she would beat my ass.
Your mother said, I'm going to beat her ass.
Yes, that's what I heard. I heard that was her response, so I just distanced myself until I felt comfortable going to her and actually having the conversation with her.
All right, well, let's bring out your mom, Shannon.
Raine, you never told me. You never told me that he done that.
I never said anything
because
to you.
I told you when I found out that if you would have told me the first time, I would have killed him, Raine. That's exactly what I said.
what you say now is completely different from how you were back then.
And then the whole thing about me kicking your ass, I said, if she's lying, I'm gonna kick her ass. That's exactly what I said. You went to everybody else but the one that mattered, me.
Because I knew how you would be.
I could have got rid of that problem.
You wouldn't have.
Yes, I would
No,
have.
you wouldn't have, because after I said something, after
Yes,
I
I
come
would
out
have.
talking about it, after I had my kid, you still sat there and called me a liar.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
Do you think it's possible that what she's saying today happened?
Yeah, I think something happened. I do.
What do you think happened?
I think that they messed around. I do.
They messed around?
Okay, I'm gonna tell you this story.
Okay, I'd love to hear it.
All right, when I found out about it, all three of us sat down at a table. And I said, do you have something you need to say to my daughter? I said, Raine, do you have something you need to say to him? There was no emotion out of either one of them. Either one of them.
So you thought they were fooling around when she was a teenager?
And I said, Raine, do you have something to say to him? So-and-so, do you have something to say to her? And he says, if I did this to you, I'm sorry, but you know I sleepwalk. She says, it's okay.
Okay, so no matter what she says, he says, well, if I did it in my sleep.
Yeah.
And you're okay with that?
And she says,
and
it's
you're okay with that?
No, I'm
response?
not.
Well, what did you say to him?
I just looked at both of them and got up and went out of the dining room.
Okay. That's all you did?
Because he was asleep. He turned over
Okay,
in the
but
bed.
wouldn't you as a mom say, you know, wouldn't you say, maybe our daughter shouldn't sleep with us because I have a grown man in the bed?
I would be asleep and she would come get in the bed. I would be asleep. She would come get in the bed.
But at some point, you could have told your daughter, maybe it's not a good idea to come in here.
And I have told her that, Raine, go back to your room. Mom, I can't sleep. I'm scared. And I'd scoot over in the bed and I'd say, lay right here, Raine.
Yeah, but when you would get up and go to work, Mom, I wish you would have woke me up and told me to go to my room. But you never did. And I'd get woke up to him messing with me. And I'd get up and go to my room.
And that's when you should have told me, Raine.
Raine, you came here, we asked you, did your mother's ex sexually molest you when you were between the ages of 12 and 15 years old? You answered yes, and the result for your lie detector test is that you told the truth.
Raine, I never said you lied. I never said you lied about that, Raine, ever.
I hope this helps you, and I hope this is the first step of rebuilding a nice relationship with both of you. Thanks for coming on. Thanks for coming on.